Focus back with another one. Today we're gonna be doing a care video on house geckos, specifically baby house geckos, as you guys may have already known by clicking on the video. Today is not gonna be like a step-by-step guide, but more as an example, showing you guys what's been working for me, and you guys can maybe take inspiration from this video and apply it to your own care. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So you've been keeping some house geckos for a couple of months or however long it's been, and then you notice some eggs in your setup. Now, what I do, I usually just let the eggs hatch within the setup itself. It's easier that way, it's safer that way. You know, you don't really have to do any further incubation or anything like that, because house gecko egg generally incubate at room temperature. So, you know, if you just leave the eggs in there and keep an eye on them, you should be good. But, you know, you can take them out and separate them if you so choose. But me personally, I just let the eggs hatch within the adult setup or the main tank. Now, after the eggs are laid, it takes about a month, maybe a month and a half at the most, for the babies to actually hatch out. And it's at that point where I do remove the babies from the general tank or the adult tank, just to minimize any risks and you know, basically start the care process. So you can keep an eye on your baby gecko, make sure it's growing properly, getting all its food, not getting bullied by other tank members. It's just, you know, a safer option if you want to make sure that your captive bred specimens are growing up in a isolated environment, basically. So what I do to really minimize costs and all that, you know, this is going to be one of those videos where you can mainly find this all the supplies that you'll need laying around your house. I just have a deli cup here with toilet paper roll and some paper towels, and this is what I would use for a hatchling. The hatchlings and the juveniles and the adults all require similar but different care. Hatchlings are the most fragile point at their stage, so, you know, I just put them in this so I can monitor them, make sure they're getting all their meals, make sure they're shedding good, and make sure nothing's you know, putting any stress on them or anything like that. So why the toilet paper roll and why the paper towel is basically being used as the substrate to line the bottom of this container. You can use sphagnum moss or dirt or soil, you know, anything really that retains moisture. But like I said, I'm gonna be only giving you guys the cheapest options. So, you know, you just want to put some paper towel in there or something. Make sure that you spray it once or twice a day to up that humidity, give them some humidity spot. These are tropical house geckos, so they're gonna be found in tropical areas. Tropical obviously has higher humidity, so helps them shed properly, helps them gives them opportunities to drink. So it's just, you know, make sure you have a spray bottle on hand that you can spray in there once or twice a day. I do it when I wake up and before I go to bed, just to make it easier. So I had a paper towel roll in here just to make sure my gecko is nice and secure, make sure he feels safe. Geckos have a lot of predators in the wild, so you can imagine a hatchling gecko has even more predators. So you know, at this point, they're basically the equivalent to like a large cricket in terms of their role in the ecosystem. You know, they're just a snack for anything. So, you know, you want to make sure that they're feeling safe and as less stress as possible. With something that has 360 coverage, like this toilet paper roll, they can go in there and, you know, really hunker down inside of the roll and make themselves feel comfortable. With feeding, just want to go to the pet store, or maybe ask for the smallest crickets they have available. You know, tell them that, you know, I got a baby house gecko that I'm feeding, or ask for some flightless fruit flies. Dump maybe 2 or 3 in there at a time, maybe 3 times a week, because, you know, your gecko, its appetite's going to be real limited at this point in its development. So you don't want to overdo it. Just, you know, cup, like I said, 2 or 3 flightless fruit flies or small pinhead crickets a week. 3 times a week is you know, should be good. You always want to make sure when feeding these geckos as well that you supplement with D3, since I won't providing any UVB or heating lamps. They'll be needing all their nutrients, and some of which they'll get through those lamps. And since, of course, I don't have those lamps, you want to make sure that every feeding is supplemented with D3, just to make sure that they're growing nice and healthy. Their bones and whatnot are gone and developing properly. So a couple months have passed since you've separated your hatchling and put it into its little hatchling container, and now you think, you know, it's getting a little bit too big for this container. You want to upgrade it. It's considered a juvenile now. This one I would put it in something like a small tank, maybe a critter keeper. Like house geckos are actually capable of creating small territories, so they'll know every inch of whatever setup they're gonna be in. In terms of setup, it's pretty much the same all throughout the life cycle. You know, substrate that retains humidity, in this case paper towel, a hide that they can go into, make themselves feel secure. This can be a fake log, a real log, some rocks or whatever, and then some sticks, some branches for them to climb on, and you know, have some different surface area to explore. Because with lizards and stuff like that, the more surface area, the more branches they have to walk on and crawl over, it serves as enrichment. They get a kick out of it. So you want to give them something to do within their tank, so they're not just sitting here stagnant. I also added a little water dish in there because they will drink from the condensed water droplets from you spraying and misting in there once or twice a day, but they'll also drink from standard water too. So you always want to just provide that, because why not? You want them to be able to help themselves to water and food whenever they want. And then at this stage, you can also up the food a little bit. As opposed to the fruit flies and pinhead crickets, you can maybe try mealworms and get small to medium crickets. And also, as they get older, you can reduce the amount of times they're being fed a week from 2 to 3 times for the hatchling to now maybe twice or once a week, because these guys are prone to getting real fat. You know, you don't want to overweight gecko, as cute as that might be. You want them to be nice and lean and healthy, because they can develop other health conditions when being overweight. They are usually not too picky about what it is that they're eating. You just want to use common sense when feeding your gecko. Make sure that the prey item is something that they can overpower. They won't have difficulty swallowing or chewing or anything like that. A general rule of thumb people like to use is to feed them objects that are smaller than their head. Now, as far as handling your gecko, I mean, again, you wanna apply some common sense here. I mean, they are pretty small, pretty fast. If it does end up jumping off your hand or whatever the case may be, and scurrying under your couch or, you know, some piece of furniture or whatever, you know, it's gonna be a hard time getting him back. But I mean, if you're willing to take that risk, go right ahead. I can say, however, that captive bred individuals, meaning they were hatched and bred in captivity their whole lives, are more prone to, you know, being more tolerant of being held and stuff like that. Whereas their parents, there's no chance you can ever hold their parents, because they were wild caught, most likely, meaning they came from the wild and therefore won't trust anything. But yeah, that's, you know, pretty much all as far as care. You know, then when they get beyond this stage, you know, you just put them in their adult setup. I have a video for that as well on my channel, so if you're wondering how to care for the adults as well, go ahead and click that. And you always want to do further research on your specific species of house gecko, although house gecko care is pretty similar all across the board, you know, but you always want to take that extra step. So yeah, that's just about all. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. If you guys made it to the end, feel free to comment. Like is much appreciated. And, you know, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, maybe that post notifications button too, that would be much appreciated. Guys, thanks for watching. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces.